A wonderful approach to creating a bountiful garden, especially in limited space, is known as square foot gardening. PSE specialist Patrick Zayas is going to show us a fun and creative way to teach kids about square foot gardening using paper towels. Patrick, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
What is square foot gardening?
So a square foot gardening is a concept that breaks down the garden into manageable small spaces like square feet. So instead of looking at the garden as 4 feet by 8 feet and trying to plant to fill the entire thing, you just think of it in 1 square foot sections. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to grow in 1 square foot.
What's the advantage to that?
So you can save a lot of space, and ultimately you can maximize what you grow out of your garden. Okay. So if you really break it down into square feet, different plants are going to do different sizes, and so we can really maximize the potential of what we can grow out of a small area.
Show us how to do it.
Great. So what we're going to start with is paper towels. We're obviously going to need some seeds and then some non-toxic glue. And so the real key here is to make sure that your paper towel is as close to 1 foot by 1 foot as possible, so that way we have a square foot. So you don't want to use a paper towel that's...
Like this one.
Yeah, exactly. So if we measure that out, it's probably not 1 square foot. It's just going to make it a little more complicated to make sure that we fit everything in. So we do have paper towels that are a little bit closer to 1 square foot, and so we're going to begin by breaking up this paper towel into manageable pieces for our plants.
Okay, so you have sort of a template under here that creates that grid.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so show us how to do it.
Yeah, so what we would do is we like to make this template ahead of time so that way we can just place our paper towel over it. You can also fold up the paper towel in 2 small squares. And so what we'll do is we will look at, using our template, little dots that we already have down, and that's where we're going to place our seeds.
Okay.
And so to place the seeds, first we're going to begin by using glue. So we're just going to use non-toxic regular glue, and we're just going to come by and just put little...
Okay, in addition to making the grid, you have the little dots where the seeds go. So,
exactly.
And the point, Patrick, is that they're perfectly spaced out.
Exactly. And so some of your bigger plants, things like tomatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, they're going to take up the entire square foot by themselves. But your smaller plants, things like carrots, beans, we're going to be able to grow more in that square foot. And so that's why we're using the template.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go ahead and just do another row real quick.
This is fun. And you know, I can imagine kids think this is a blast because it's almost like doing a craft project.
Exactly. And it helps to, take this large concept of square foot area and break it down into something that they can manage. If you're doing this with like a, say a group of kids, each kid can have their own paper towel. So that way when it's time to plant, they're not fighting over placing that one seed. They're each just going to go ahead and place their paper towel in the garden. So we have our glue down on our paper towel. And so we're just going to take some seeds. So these are just some bush bean seeds. So if you like green beans, that's exactly what these are.
I'll take a couple too.
Yep, go for it.
Okay.
And so we are just going to go ahead, and you can do this bottom row right here, and just place it right on top of the glue.
And again, it's important to use that non-toxic. You've got just a basic Elmer's school glue here.
Yeah, exactly. And that'll break down over time. It's not going to cause any issues. And so once we have these spaced out, so we could do another row up top and below, but we're just going to leave it right here for now. And so after this, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, walk over to the garden, and just place it right on top of the soil. And after that, we're just going to do a little bit of water and cover it with a little bit of soil, and then it is perfectly spaced exactly where it needs to be.
That is beautiful. And the paper towel and the glue eventually disintegrate. They don't hinder the growth of the plant.
Exactly. They're going to break down over time, probably just a few weeks, and then the plants are going to stay right in their spot. And they're going to just grow right on up. Now, it's important to make sure that when you place the paper towel, obviously you have the seeds facing up, because if you have them facing down, they're not going to come through that paper towel.
That would be a bad idea. And I love, too, that you pointed out that if you're growing, what did you say, broccoli, tomatoes?
Yeah, broccoli, tomatoes, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, those are going to take up 1 whole square foot.
Because they need more space to grow, so your template would have the larger square.
Exactly. So you could just do it right in the middle of that plus right there.
Okay, so you do this at a lot of local schools. How do the kids react to this?
They love it. Like I said, really the key is that it makes it manageable to work with a lot of kids, let's say 15 to 20 kids, and have them plant in a way that They're not trying to place seeds themselves, and you know, you're not doing as much orchestrating of where they're putting the seeds. Each kid is going to have their own little square. They're going to walk up, they're going to place it, and they're going to just lightly spray it with some water and cover it. And
I
so
love that.
they feel more of an ownership over their plants.
All right, and before we go, you also had a suggestion for a way to label them?
Yeah, so this is just a regular paint stirrer. So what we could do, since we're doing beans, is we can just go ahead and write
Beans. Oh, bush beans, okay.
yes.
And so then we'll just stick that in the ground?
Yep, and then they'll know exactly what we're growing right here.
This is such a fun idea, Patrick. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So this is a fun project that you could do with your kids, and all you need is some simple things like glue, paper towel, and seeds. So hopefully you'll give this a try.